Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleashed!
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana, Surrounded by Death, and The Pond. And our third co-host, Harry G., graphic artist extraordinaire. What's going on, guys?
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
It's been a crazy week, man.
Yeah, I'm recovering from New York Comic Con.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to chat that up with you. And I as soon as we got started with the timer, Tony showed up in the green room, so we definitely could bring those guys in and just have a discussion about New York Comic Con in general.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear your thoughts and all the words, all the stories we've heard from the, over the weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll talk about two briefly before I bring those guys in. I was at the Athol Comic Book Fest on Saturday,
which I was having FOMO that you guys were there. You know I love my Athol princesses.
Oh, dude, did you get the text from Amy about that?
I got the text from Amy. Looks
Johnny,
like there was some fresh blood there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was pretty much almost exactly like last year, like with the same amount of vendors. So, and then they also so they did panels, but it was kind of weird that they remember how we had to go to that other room.
I went to the library next
door.
The
library. They didn't do that this year. They kept it in the same room, and they have a stage area. So we all went on the stage and talked, but it was kind of weird being in the same room as the convention. And it wasn't like a real panel. It was like we came up for 2 questions and that was it. And then it was over. It was kind of odd. Yeah, it was kind of
odd. A little awkward. If it was more of like a symposium, where I think last time was like would have sounded like it would have been a better thing, where it was at the library. You could have possibly caught people who were not going to the convention, learning about it at the library, and then going to the convention. You know what I mean?
Like I told them I thought it was a good idea to not have to go so far away from the convention to be a part of the panel or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they should just have done it downstairs. Like there's a downstairs kids area. Like I wonder if they should just do it down there. Maybe. I don't know. But I also, it was good. I would say like it was better than last year. My sales were higher. There seemed to be more people. The cosplay thing was a huge hit. There was like a lot of cosplayers that came in. And it was pretty nice. It was one of those really nice free shows for people, and there was only
That's the thing, man. A free show, you can't beat that. That's what that's what brings the people through the door. That's part of what makes a good Comic Con. It's part of what makes Plastic City so good. Not that it's free, but it's a very low attendance price. You know what I mean?
It always helps. Like
absolutely
versus you being in New York, which probably costs what $80 a day to get in, or at least
craziness. The price to get into the door, and the price to have a photo with a celebrity is even more crazy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean? Yeah, let's see. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and then just then the amount of people that flock to that part, you know what I mean, is crazy. But the show, regardless of that, the show was good. The small press where I was at was pretty busy, so I'm not disparaging it at all.
Okay, yeah, that's the one advantage in New York. Which let's table that for a minute. I want to say hello to the chat, and then I'm going to bring our guest in, and then we'll talk about the convention because I know Tony was there. You said, right?
Yes, I hung out with Tony a lot of the weekend.
Oh, good. That's great. And then and Ben, I'm sure, has been at conventions too, so we can he can shoot us his opinions and everything as well. So in the chat tonight, we got, of course, Amy's Birdhouse with us. Roland is back. Hey, buddy, what's going on? I'll never get tired of the theme from Surrounded by Death. I know. I love that guitar riff.
Oh, yeah. Those are my friends in the band Vulgarity with 2 R's. Nice. I believe the song is called Beefcake. Check it out.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. So there was just just the instrumental version of that song?
The whole song's instrumental.
Oh, it's instrumental. That's great.
The whole song's
cool,
instrumental. Man. Yeah, it's dope.
Awesome. Dr. Mask with us tonight. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let me see. We got people talking to back. Amy said the princesses were looking good.
I love me some princesses.
Amy Roland said might have been better at as a speaking engagement. Then yeah, probably. I would think,
or like what Marie Dumas was trying to set up at that time when I was working with her, and then it never panned out.
She was behind us at the show. The other cool thing that ended up working out, speaking of the show, was so behind me was supposed to be Christopher Paniccia.
Chris Penn,
Gridiron.
Yeah.
For some reason, he didn't show up to the show, so there was going to be a blank table. Yeah, it was unusual. Even Hero Shack thought it was unusual.
Yeah, and I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he is too. So by 10 o'clock, he wasn't there. So Amy kind of took over his table and spread out all her artwork, and I was able to spread out my entire table to be Mighty Mascots, and I thought that really worked out well. So I think next year I might ask them if I could have 2 tables, So
yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that. I'm looking at 2 tables for New York next year.
Are you really? Yeah, I want to talk about that. Dr. Mass said there was one show I went to that the panel was on the floor, but it was all curtained off. Yeah, I don't know if they could really do that. I mean, it's the way the room's set up. It's kind of like almost like the stage is at the back, but it's also like a room that probably was for the stage. They set up a bunch of chairs. It's like a city hall kind of thing. So, where it was at. So I don't know if they could really do much with it. Dr. Mass said food at New York City must have been nuts. Yeah. I can imagine.
Crazy. Once again, they brought the sushi cart back to the Artist Alley.
Oh, did they really?
I'll never trust Artist Alley sushi.
I don't blame you, man.
JD, one of my new friends I met at the show.
But the price to take a picture with me was affordable. Plus, you get a shot with the pic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, JD brought over a peace offering. Great guy.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for being here, JD. Glad to have you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man.
Roger Morocco with us tonight.
My cousin Roger came by too. He was at the show.
Oh, he met
by? George. Awesome. Roger's very openly opinionated. I love the man. My cousin, he's the best. But I'm always having to apologize for him after everywhere he goes. And I really shouldn't have to apologize because do you apologize for a hurricane after it rolls through Florida? No, not really. but I was worried about offending George, and no, like him and George got along great. It was awesome.
That's great. Roland said New York's Comic-Con was basically week 2 of Toy Fair for me.
Oh,
awesome. Yep, Diana, what's up, Diana?
Hi, Diana. I missed you guys this weekend.
Awesome. And then even though Johnny C is a Pats fan, he was treated fairly.
That's true. You know why? Because we have Mac Jones and he stinks on ice, and they were sympathizing. They were showing me sympathy for the poor Pats.
I'll definitely work on the panels. I agree. The stage did not work well, but next year's panel will be better. Thank you. Yeah, Diana, it's just a constructive feedback. So Diana is one of the organizers for the Comic Book Fest this weekend. So it's good to see her.
Yep. And part of Hero Shack.
Yeah, definitely hit us up. I had such a great time. I have nothing but praise for that show.
Yeah,
And I
again,
love
I
that
was
it's
getting
only
FOMO.
a 30-minute ride for us, so it's great.
Yep.
Roland said, never deny the opportunity for a free table at a con. Absolutely, my friend.
Bingo.
Yeah, it would be hard. It is the town hall. Yeah, that's what I figured. Like,
I was gonna say it sounded the way you phrased it. It sounded like a town hall.
Yeah.
So,
Dr. Mass, you always have to be cautious of food sold off a cart. Yeah, absolutely, man.
but you know what? Some of those. It's funny that you say that though. Indoors, yes, I would agree to that. Some of those street vendor carts, those guys, I mean, I'm walking home from the pub late at night and the way they're cleaning and like upkeep, like respect to those guys. So there's some out there that are good, some I would completely avoid. I would say the proof is to follow the nose. If it smells funky, stay away from it.
Yeah, that's good advice as always, dude. Annabelle Arroyo.
What's up, man? Yes. He
was
came by the table hanging out. Dude, we had a blast, man. We had a blast at New York Comic Con.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to definitely hear about it. Yes, I love it, Keith, and really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, Diane. It was an awesome show, so you should definitely take a bow for that. We did great, and yeah, we hope to come back to many more comic book fests. And next year, maybe Johnny C, if it doesn't conflict with New York.
Yeah, I think if I'm allowed back, I'm gonna be tabling in New York again. I believe. I think that's the consensus right now.
She said, Johnny C, we missed you, and you hope you did well.
Did very well, thank you.
And hey, I've bought my share of shopping cart pretzels. Yeah, shopping cart pretzels are great. Yeah, Jeremy's with us tonight too.
Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, man.
Full house tonight. This is great.
With a Tim Jones Skeletor
Killabob
avatar image.
Yeah,
Killabob is in the house. Look out for Killabob, son.
So let me
inside joke.
Let's continue our talk about New York Comic Con, but before that, I want to bring in tonight's guest.
Yeah,
I know one of them was there, and I think the other one can also add to the conversation.
Absolutely.
So let's first start with the new guest, which is Ben Soto. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Ben.
Let me just say that Artist Alley Sushi sounds like a bad idea for lunch, but a great name for a band.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. A punk band. It's got to be a punk band.
Artist Alley Sushi.
I love it, Someone's like in the audience right now copywriting that, I bet.
Yeah,
So Ben, thank you for joining us. And then also Mr. Tony James. What's going on?
Tony.
Welcome back to the
long
show,
time
buddy.
no see, Tony.
I'm so happy to be on this show, man. This is awesome.
We love having you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so I wanted to start off the discussion with New York Comic Con, but what were we going to say, Johnny? I saw you.
I was just going to say Tony's the strongest mustache game in the business.
Oh, absolutely. I saw him tweaking it back in the green room while we were going live. I love it.
Oh, he's so good.
That's great. So yeah, I wanted to start off the discussion with New York Comic Con, and because I know Tony, you were there, Johnny, you were there. Tony, were you set up or were you just walking around doing the pro?
No, I'm just walking around, talking to people. I actually got to pitch Star Noir to Scott Snyder. That was
sweet,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Is he looking for new properties, kind of thing?
I don't know. I mean, he was there was an educational panel, and then once it all wrapped up, people were talking to him on stage, and then I gave him one of the cards for the Kickstarter, and I was telling him about the book, and he was like, he thought the title was very cool, and said he was going to check it out. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, very cool. And he's written some great noir too. So like, that's a good person to hand it off to. So, and I know Johnny, you actually were set up at Small Press, right?
Corner desk.
Yep. Corner. Yep. We had a corner in Small Press. We were 2 rows over from Viz Media. I think I had a good spot. What would you say, Tony?
That was a pretty good spot. There's so much traffic going through your yeah.
There was a lot of traffic, I'd say.
Were you on the end, Johnny? Were you on the corner that me and Amy had for a few years?
We were the opposite side of it. So, you were in this corner. I was the corner that would have been to your right.
Oh, okay. So it was almost like part of an intersection, kind of like.
Yeah. It was a 4-way. They did the booth layouts with like 3. So 3 booths than a aisle, 3 booths in an aisle. So, lots of people had the opportunity for corners.
Oh, cool. That's cool. So tell me about it, guys. Like, the only thing we've heard on this end is someone took a dump on New York Comic-Con somewhere. That was like the big news, I think.
I didn't hear that much.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, I heard it. Yeah.
If you Google it, I think there's even like a Bleeding Cool story or
Of course,
something.
Of course, Rich is going to make an article about it right away.
Somebody did.
For Christ's sake.
I was like, oh my god,
people are savages. That's
So
all I got to say.
I hate that overshadowed every other news that was coming out of New York City.
This is the second time someone or some animal is taking a dump at a Reed Pop show, and it's made public news.
Was it
a deliberate right now?
Was it a deliberate dump or was it an accidental dump?
That's what I'd like to know, if they knew, if Johnny heard anything.
What I heard, I can't say I know because I don't know. I wasn't witness. I wasn't party to it. But what I heard was that somebody was waiting in line for a photo op and it was taking forever, so they did their business right there.
It was probably the Artist Alley Sushi that did.
It was the Artist Alley Revenge of the Artist Alley Sushi.
That's a real test.
I only heard it like through rumor, and you know how telephone goes. The sentence starts one way and ends another, so I couldn't give you any details, but that's what I heard.
It's a whole science to when to eat before a convention. When to, you know what I mean? you gotta time everything just right.
I think it's a conspiracy theory, like Annabelle just said. There you go.
There's no evidence of the poop, no cell phone video, no pic, no eyewitnesses. So did it actually happen?
It was perpetrated by
is this Poopgate?
This is Poopgate. It was perpetrated by other convention owners in the Northeast area to try to shut them down.
I don't think Reed Pop is gonna be shut down by something like that.
Reed Poop.
Reed Poop.
Oh, Harry,
That's
you did
great.
it again. I love it.
So Johnny, tell us a little bit about the 4 days there. Like, what was your experience like?
So, as Annabelle mentioned in one of the posts there, we were right underneath the 2000 sign.
Yeah.
So what a better marker, especially for people who are like, oh, I'll be back. Just say, hey, look for the 2000 sign. You can't miss us. And that worked. That worked a lot. It worked really well for George. Worked well for me. The show floor is very busy. I brought 16 copies of Cthulhu is Hard to Spell, and I sold them all out.
Oh, sweet, man.
Wow. So go figure.
Great.
You know what I mean? And that book cost $30 a pop. So
that's good.
Now, numbers for you.
You went home with a lot lighter load. That's always good.
Dude, those suitcases were so light on the ride home.
That's awesome.
So one of my moments where Tony got to put his book, talk about the Kickstarter with Scott Snyder. Greg Nicotero came by the booth.
I saw that
right before show's opening, and
this was which day? Thursday,
yeah. No, it was Thursday morning. He swung by the booth, or he happened to be walking by.
You recognized him?
Recognized him, big fan. Pulled him over. Hey, I got to show you something. I told him hey, I pitched Surrounded by Death as Mallrats meets The Walking Dead, and I wanted to give him 2 copies. He goes, oh, this is really great. Funny that you say that. My wife worked on Mallrats. And I was like, oh, what a funny coincidence. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so that was
awesome.
kind of cool. And
that's cool. What was he there for? Was he promoting Walking Dead?
Hold on, I lost audio again, guys. Hang on.
Probably the.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right, hang on. I have to adjust the audio here. I lost everything. But somebody fill in. Somebody fill in while I'm tweaking.
She was just on the Walking Dead Daryl, making of the show. The finale was just last night. Have you guys been watching
so you must have been promoting the finale then, maybe?
That and the new Rick and Michonne spinoff coming out soon. Probably, I think it's actually there's a commercial that premiered at New York. I think it's premiering February something.
Amy thinks
Rick and Michonne.
He was promoting something called Dead City. Is that a Walking Dead spinoff?
That's the third. Yeah, that's with Maggie and Negan. Dead City.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop with Walking Dead stuff because I haven't watched that show since season 3, I think.
The only big news that I heard is that Carol's coming back. You know, Carol from the
I did hear that.
She was supposed to be on Daryl's spinoff, but for some reason she took a year. You know, just took a break from the whole thing, and now they announced her as being back with him next year. But she made an appearance on the end of the finale last night.
Oh, nice.
So
okay,
she's back.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, I'm still watching it. I want to see what happens, what becomes of them. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like whatever. I can't just like forget. You know, if I invested time in a TV show, I want to see what happens to them. You know?
I'm the same way. Like if you reach a certain point in a show's run, you got to go the rest. You know, sometimes
no matter how bad it sucks. You know.
Yeah, like I feel I didn't reach the halfway point, so I just stopped and I was like, I'm done. You know, and so I just kind of
it get really repetitive. I mean, like that's one of the bad things about the show. It's like over and over again. All right, escape a bad group of people, only to meet a new group of bad people. You know, and like new shelter.
That's what it was. Like I felt like it was redundant, like already in season 3.
Right.
You know,
I wish it was more like the Wizard of Oz. You know, because at the beginning, because that's how I looked at the show from the very beginning. Because like Rick, you know, comes out of a coma, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know what happened. You know, he meets up with his family again. He meets up with new friends along the way. You know, some get eaten, some join, some get lost, and that's the way I looked at him. Like that's kind of cool to find out what happened to the world. You know what I mean? And by going to Washington, it's kind of like if you looked at it as a Wizard of Oz type thing, it's kind of like a cool story, but it never became that way. It's like. It's a repetitive cyclic, cyclic show.
Nice. So to get back to New York Comic Con, Tony, what other experiences did you have this weekend while you were there? Were you there all weekend or just a couple days?
Just Friday and Saturday.
Gotcha.
Walking around with my partner Gwen. We just just hanging out, taking in. It was actually quite surprising how much anime and manga have just taken over the convention. You know,
really? Like I was curious about that.
Like, no real big Marvel booth outside of selling some animation. No DC booth. No image booth. Not even like a Midtown Comics booth to buy some half off graphic novels. Like they were.
No kidding.
Yeah,
George is with us too. George was at the show. George, if you want to come in, we're talking New York Comic Con. If you want to come in for a few minutes, let me know.
I just want to congratulate George on the Jets for the upset against the Eagles yesterday. That was a crazy game, I'll tell you.
Nice. That's great. So do you walk? I'm not surprised by that at all, just because I've been hearing manga is like killing it right now. Like, and if you go into any Barnes and Nobles, it's like eye-opening, like how many rows are just manga now, and how can you hear us now?
Got you. I had to, so it's official, these headphones done. They're going
they're broke, they're
right in the trash.
Everything else is working okay.
Everything else is great. I had to defer to my old dusty ass Leia Organa headphones here.
Very nice.
Everybody has a nice 70s tin sound to them.
Princess Johnny.
Exactly.
Dr. Mass said he almost fainted after that Jets game.
Yeah. There's so many turnovers on the Eagles side. So many turnovers.
Roland's asking, is the stream buffering for anybody else? I'm
right.
not hearing any other problems. George is in the chat. I told him he could come in if he wants. I can hook him up with the
George.
With the
dude.
With the link
me earlier, and I just never had a chance to get back to him. Sorry about that, George. Apologies. I will respond to you soon.
So how was it tabling with George? Johnny, did you guys work off each other like I thought you would?
We are like dynamite together, bro. It was good. It was so good. We filled in for each other if we were absent. We were able to kind of understand each other's pitches well enough where we could pitch for each other. And I needed cash and change at one point, and I was able to help him out. Wi-Fi was a real big problem at the Javits Center for some people.
I saw Amy asked about that.
So they were forced. So some parts of the building didn't have repeaters. So some people were like, for example, the Wayward Raven guys, they were at the other end of the venue and they were having a lot of problems with Wi-Fi. They had to they were forced and muscled into having to basically subscribe and get the package because reception wasn't working over there. And that's kind of unfortunate.
So
but
they did like
for some reason I didn't have a problem. So I was able to take charges for George, which was great.
So they pulled the Game on Sports on
they pulled the Game on Sports. They pulled the Game on Sports maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. How was attendance compared to the last few years? Like I know during COVID, that was the last time I was down there. And that was I think the second or third year of COVID. Yeah. And it was kind of the aisles were super wide. You were there, Johnny. The aisles were super wide. The crowd wasn't quite there. It was like half of what it usually is. And
so the aisles are still wide. They've kept the aisles wide like that, which I like. I think it's good because I don't know if you remember before, but they were super tight. And there's kind of a balance. My cash works every time. Hells yeah, it does.
Yeah, right. And George, he just wanted to stop by and say hello. And
thanks, George.
Glad you got home safe, Johnny.
Yeah,
that's good. So, anyways, go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry.
So aisles were super wide, but which was good because the aisles used to be really tight. And then the kind of the dilemma there, it technically is that if it's too wide, they'll walk down the middle and they won't mess with either side. They might just go straight and kind of avoid you. If it's too tight, it becomes cattle. Anybody who stops and you're creating a block, right? So people keep moving. So, and to that effect, I think it's kind of like you got the Goldilocks size right now where you can bounce back and forth and shop in between. It's about the same size it was for San Diego Special Edition. That distance apart between booths. And I thought that worked out very well.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Good attendance. At one point during peak hours on Saturday, the bathroom wasn't too far for me, but it took me 45 minutes to get there because it was
the lines are always ridiculous.
Lines, and just the walk because of so many people.
Yeah,
it was just slow moving. So
yeah, you got to plan your bathroom trips at that show. Definitely.
Exactly, and I get FOMO when I'm away from the table. Like, I don't want to miss a sale. So, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I always hated to leave the table. Ben, have you ever tabled at like NYCC or a big show like that?
No, never been. I think the biggest show I've been to is Planet Comic Con in Kansas City.
That one's pretty big, I heard.
It's a pretty good size. Yeah.
You tabled there?
Yeah.
How was your experience at that show?
It was pretty good. It was a good crowd, a lot of people. I think we had pretty good prices for our sketches, and that's what kept us busy. But yeah, it was a fun show.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Would you ever do an NYCC con?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a long ways to travel. I'm in Oklahoma, so I'm pretty far south.
Yeah, it's a long way to travel. Plus, it's real expensive.
Yeah, I imagine.
Wouldn't you say, Johnny? What did that booth run you? If you want to give us a ballpark.
So it's just under 1,800 in that range. Then after fees and stuff, it comes up to be about that. But I split that with George. Not even split, but we divided things up a little bit. So
it looked like I saw a picture of your setup. It looked like you guys didn't quite do like the corner. It looks like you guys all did one, like one long setup. Is that?
Yeah, we wanted to do the corner table, but it kind of protruded out a little bit, and it would have made things a little cramped to get in and out.
Gotcha.
So we were just like, and there was a lot of people coming in and out of the booth. We had, Roger, my friend Alex was coming in and out of the booth to hang out. My buddy, an illustrator on Surrounded by Death, Joe, was there signing books. So, it was just for the sake of flow, having that third table was not really a good idea. Now we're thinking about for the future with a 2-table design, where we might be able to incorporate that that side table and then exit in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And that will make it kind of neat in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when me and Amy did the actual corner. It is a tight fit getting in and out because they scrunch you right into that space.
Yeah, they do.
They don't give you like an inch of extra space. So
exactly.
So I remember that, you know. So well, that's good to hear that. Like, any other highlights that you can think of?
Well, you know, it's a great show where you know, it's got a pretty strong comic community. You know, I had a real great time hanging out with Tony and the gang at the pubs each night. You know, looking over, you know, Tony got to allow me to preview a little bit of Star Noir 2, and it's pretty cool. Now that I've read issue 1, I'm even more excited. So yeah, you know, that was really awesome, and it was just fun connecting and hanging out with comic crew and comic people.
Awesome.
And you know,
was it like a creator
and,
after network?
Yeah, we tried. We normally do a really big Creator AfterCon thing, and that was back when we had Twins hosting us. So this year was more of kind of an exploratory year to find a new pub. And you know, Tony was was with us when we were checking out 2 venues. One was really, really nice and named an Irish pub, but not really an Irish pub. Then the other one was like smaller, hole in the wall, cozy, but genuinely an Irish pub.
Gotcha.
Right? Would you agree, Tony?
Yeah. I mean, I did like the second one. I thought that one had like a downstairs area that could be good for future Creator After cons.
Yeah, the second venue had charm in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Was there any highlights outside of the Scott Snyder experience, Tony, for you, or?
Well, I met a cosplayer who dressed up as Hollow Knight at this Metroidvania game that I really love. And they instead of saying that they liked my mustache, they just kind of pointed to their mask like that. I was really charmed by that.
That's great.
Awesome.
But it was also great to hang out at the AfterCon with other creators, both on Friday night and Saturday night, just hanging out with everybody, just talking stuff. We talked about like future panels that we'd want to put together. It was great. It was awesome.
That's cool. That's what always those after convention dinners and hangouts usually are,
I laugh at the people who are like, oh, I got to get into the Marvel party. That's where it's at. It's like, if you're not hanging out in an Irish pub with other comic creators planning projects, you're not doing New York Comic Con right. You know what I mean?
Well, not even that, but like, how uncool is Marvel and DC now? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's so like everything indie is where it's at, so. Yeah, I agree with you, John.
It's but amongst manga and anime, which has clearly taken the front seat.
That's what Tony was saying when you dipped out. Like, it's definitely more prevalent, at the show.
Yeah, a lot, very much so. It's funny, even one of the at the Creator AfterCon thing where we're hanging out, there was this one young gentleman, I think his name was Steve, but his project is totally a manga. And I'm like, man, this needs to get on the floor right now because you got to strike while the iron's hot. You can make a lot of money off this book. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I almost wish I could fast forward his creative process and his learning because now's the time for him to be doing that. But
so if you were to define manga for everyone, like, how would you describe it, or what is it exactly?
It's a very specific style of comic tailored to the Japanese audience. I'd say it's read backwards, or it's not read from right to left, it's left to right. So it's kind of a opposite way, and the artwork is specific to a Japanese animation style.
Okay,
is that a fair assessment, everybody?
Yeah, it's much more bombastic and very, very expressive art style compared to a traditional Western comic.
Right.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, I see that being the next trend now that the superhero movies are kind of dying. And like, I saw how successful the live action One Piece was. I feel like that's the next thing to blow up, especially with how big manga is. I think we're going to see a lot more live action, animes and mangas and video games and stuff. I think that's going to take over for the superhero stuff, I think.
So that's funny that you say that, though, because it's kind of like I feel like it's been hit or miss, right? One Piece is almost like catching lightning in a bottle, because like, look at Cowboy Bebop. That should have done the same
studio
business.
too, right?
Same studio even. Yeah. So what went wrong there and what worked here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it might be the properties. Although like, I feel if they leaned more into Cowboy Bebop, actual source material would have been better, I think. But
yeah,
but I was surprised at how much I liked One Piece. I have never watched it or read the manga, but the Netflix show was great. So and they leaned into every crazy thing in that anime,
You know what it is it had all the tropes of anime, but it was filtered out the over the top stuff. So it was like just towing the line. And I think that is more acceptable to like a Western audience than something that was full fledged to like over the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Manga are also monochrome with series from Shonen Jump, publishing 20-page chapters every Sunday morning. Yeah, that's why I think they're killing, Eastern stuff. It's like they have so much for so little price, So
right, exactly.
But I mean, we can talk about that all day. What were we going to say, Harry?
No, I think that the anime is one style of art or cartoons that I've managed to avoid my whole life. Not on purpose, but I just never really got into it. I never got exposed to it. So
yeah, I'm very old school. Yeah, I'm very picky about my anime. There's some shows I just can't commit to watching a long run of to get to where the story is. I get a little frustrated, or you know what I mean? So I like something that's nice, tight, and concise. I think that's part of why Cowboy Bebop was appealing to me, is because every episode was kind of self-contained and there was a little bit of an overarching story, but
it's 24 episodes and then done, right?
Yeah, I can't watch 1,000 episodes of something to figure it out. Like it just tries. Unless I was watching all along, you know what I mean? If I was on the train all along, then great.
Right.
But like, if I have to go back, it's so hard to do that.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
At least for me.
And I think the other problem is too, before we, and we'll get off of this, but like I was reading that the live action One Piece, which was 8 episodes, covered like 50 episodes of the anime. So right there, they're wasting so much storyline. You know what I mean? Like when you can condense it into 8 episodes, there's like a lot of fat to be trimmed there,
Yeah.
So, but
or maybe they're just filtering it like water, removing
it could be
the other minerals and just giving you pure water.
There was a samurai warrior in Thundercats, and I think he had a cat called Snow Meow. And that's as far as I went. Probably.
No, I mean, I know it's an acquired taste, and if you're older now, you probably could get into it still if you found the right one. I feel like Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli is like accessible to everyone. Those are like
those are a little timeless, I say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't wait to see this new one that's coming out in December. Dying for it, so we'll see. Hopefully it'd be better than his last one, so but anyways, so final words on NYCC before we start moving on here.
Any big announcements or anything? Or any big things coming out that they announced?
I was kind of out of the loop on the news cycle of what was getting released. So actually, honestly, there was one thing I did see, and we were talking about how uncool Marvel is, but they are doing this project that's shooting Marvel into the future, and they're following like an old man Cap, and I think it's Chip Zdarsky's possibly doing it. I forget, but it looked actually pretty interesting. It might be something that might make me read that series, that that new run coming up. I don't know if anybody else saw that or heard of it.
No, I didn't see anything about that. It's like an old Cap run. Is that what you're saying?
So it's not an old Cap run. It's like a new future Avengers. It's trying to show like
it's a future Avengers.
It's a future thing. So like it looks like this is basically the nature of what happens to the Marvel universe in the future, and kind of it looked really good, and it seems like Old Man Cap is like the center focused character, and it looks like Tony Stark maybe kind of what they alluded at in some of the movies where like he's like a biotechnical overlord kind of thing.
Gotcha. That's cool. Like I mean I like Chip Zdarsky. I think he's probably.
Don't quote me on that though. I'm only going off a rough memory. It's been a tough weekend, Keith. I drank a lot.
Well, the one news I did hear about indie comics actually was kind of exciting. Was Jeff Johns has like a whole thing ready to explode.
Heard about that.
I think it was called like Ghost Machine or something. It's
Yes.
like a extension of his Mad Ghost stuff.
Yep.
And that looks awesome. It looks like they're gunning to be like an exciting like image kind of revival, you know. It's him, it's like Peter Tomasi, Gary Brian Hitch.
He's
Jason
doing that Red Coat
Babbitt.
book. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I've been reading all of those along. Geiger was the first one. It was excellent. And then the second one that was even better was Junkyard Joe. That one was great. So if you guys could get those in trades, check those out. I did reviews on both of them, I think. And I'm excited for all that stuff that they got coming. Peter Tomasi's part of it, a bunch of other people. It's going to be, if it takes off, I think that's going to be really good, exciting comics coming from, cool creators again. So hopefully, the only other thing I saw a preview for Invincible season 2, like a more fleshed out preview came out on YouTube. And then I thought there was something else.
Omni-Man's in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was another preview I saw. They showed some of the gameplay. That looked pretty cool. And then I think they had a new trailer for the Scott Pilgrim anime that Netflix is releasing.
There was a panel for that. Yeah, it's pretty impressive that all the voices from the movie are coming back.
Yeah, that's cool. And it looks like the comic. I did read the comic years ago, and I love the look of it. So like I might check that out when it comes out on Netflix. That was about all I saw. There was probably more news, but that was all. There didn't seem to be a lot coming out of New York Comic Con.
The other thing is that there is still one strike going on.
There is? Is it an actor strike?
I believe it's the actor strike. The writer strike is over, so the actor strike's still going on. So it's funny. Like they had Norman Reedus there talking about Walking Dead, but he's a producer on the show. So that was the loophole that allows him to be able to appear. You know what I mean?
Next Avengers,
something like that. Yeah, it looks something like that. I forget what the name is, and I'm pretty bad about it right now. But
I'll have to look it up.
Look it up. The trailer they released looks really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, the trailer's probably online. All right, gents. So New York Comic Con sounds like it was successful. I'm glad you did well, Johnny. And I'm glad
I spared you guys all the traveling lament that I went through.
Well, I know that's the worst thing, hands down, for New York Comic Con is getting in and out of there.
So I took your advice about coming in on Wednesday. I'm
glad you did it.
Yes, I'm going to advise people to leave on Monday. Don't try to leave at the end of the show. It's craziness.
Well, what we usually do, we used to pack up and leave at like 3:00. That way we get out of there before the traffic, you know.
I packed up and left at 3:30. They closed off a block. My Uber took forever to get to Penn Station. It was like $100 Uber ride that was quoted originally at $30.
Wow.
It was bad. I went 2 blocks in 45 minutes. It was just crazy.
You probably could have walked there, Johnny. And
the suitcases. I had so much gear I was lugging. I would have had a heart attack halfway through there.
Was that like that scene in Office Space when where Michael Bolton's stuck in traffic and he's just watching the old lady in the walker go by?
Yes.
Exactly like that.
Exactly what it was.
That's awesome. And the old lady in the walker is getting further ahead than he is. That's great stuff. Awesome. Well, I'm glad it was good. You know, now we can turn it over to our awesome guest we have here tonight. And Ben, since you are a new guest, I would love to hear how you got into comics. Was there a comic you read, a movie, TV show, or something you saw as a kid that made you want to be part of this crazy industry?
When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher had a rack of comic books in her class. So whenever we got done with work early, she would say, you can go to the back and read a comic book.
No kidding.
So that's how I got into comic books, is through school, through a teacher. And I was never much.
What was the first one that you read that clicked with you?
I think Justice League, Justice League International or something like that. It wasn't like the standard Justice League. It was like the weird ones.
Mm-hmm. The one where it's like a comedy, right?
Yeah, it was a little odd. I think Captain Adam, the guy with the silver skin?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he was in that team. I can't remember some of the other characters.
Was it Justice League Europe?
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, because he had like they did a bunch of spin-offs and stuff, and I remember I think he was leading the Justice League Europe team, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and there was Animal Man and there was Elongated Man, and all those guys were part of the Europe crew.
Yeah, so that was probably the first comic book I picked up just because all the characters looked interesting, and
that's awesome.
After that,
that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I was kind of hooked after that. Like the first comic book I actually bought was a G.I. Joe comic book. I grew up
G.I. Joe was early for me too, man. I gotta admit, I was my gateway in was like cartoon related comics that were off of shows that I was watching. Like I think early ones I bought were like Transformers and G.I. Joe. So totally get that.
The things that went hand in hand with the toys, right? It's
Absolutely,
like we had our toys, and and then we also have to think during that era, we didn't have like replayability of DVRs and like streaming content the way we do now. So like if we wanted to like watch the further adventures of our cartoon characters, we had to read comics or extensions or things like that, or VHS tape it.
VHS tapes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's true, Johnny. I mean, I think that's why all that stuff worked, back then. Especially, I loved how, not to get on a tangent, but I love how Marvel would take Transformers and G.I. Joe and kind of make it part of their like universe in a lot of ways. Like, so I remember, didn't Spider-Man show up in one of the issues of Transformers and stuff like that, if I remember right?
I don't remember that, but that's cool. I gotta read that.
Yeah, I think he did. Like, I remember a cover where he's trying to web up Megatron and he's like swinging around him, I was like, that shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah, shit ain't gonna work.
But how did he transform into a much smaller gun? I don't get it.
Yeah,
it's a mass manipulation.
Yeah,
yes, right.
That's good stuff. So G.I. Joe was your thing, and I also gotta mention this that Roland brought up. Rest in peace, Keith Giffen. He did pass over New York Comic-Con weekend.
Which did you see?
He was the writer on the Justice League stuff.
Did you see his final tweet?
Yeah, that he was avoiding New York Comic-Con.
Yeah,
he went out on a laugh, dude.
Went out on a laugh. Like, what a good sense of humor, and that's like how people found out. And just reading all the comments underneath was just priceless.
Did you ever meet him, Johnny, or anybody here? Did you guys ever meet him? I never met him at a convention, but me and Amy, he was at Terrificon a handful of years ago, and we didn't see him at Terrificon. This was the year, it was one of the 2 years that Terrificon was at Bridgeport when we were at the stadium. So me and
before my time.
Oh yeah, maybe. So me and my wife had gone to Dunkin' Donuts to get something before we went to the show. Right behind me was Keith Giffen, and I turned around and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Keith Giffen!" And I said, "Hey man, you're Keith Giffen, right?" And he started talking to us. Dude was just cracking us up, joke after joke, and like that was my only interaction with him ever, and he was such a nice guy. And I just left being like, I'm glad Keith Giffen is fucking awesome,
Yeah. It's good that you have that memory and that experience with him. What I mean?
Yeah, no, I love that. And I like you, Ben, I love those Justice Leagues, because those at the time they were kind of fresh, because every other comic was dark at the time, and Justice League went the other way. It was kind of funny at the time.
Yeah.
But it worked. People loved it. It was huge hit for a number of years, so it's good stuff. So yeah, I digress. So after you had read that, did you know that this was something you wanted to do, be a part of comics?
Not right away. Like the G.I. Joe comic book was like the first comic book I owned, and then probably like a month later, my dad went to some kind of like flea market fair with my mom.
Okay. And
he came to pick me up from school, and he said, "Hey, I got you something," and it was like this like 6-pack of Batman comic books.
Okay.
So after I read that, that's when I got into comics. I was like, oh, this is a really cool medium. This is really cool. This is really fun stuff. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, that's what got me into it. And then I started collecting comic books. I started reading Wizard magazine.
Yeah, I love Wizard.
Yeah, Wizard
was like the backbone of my comic fandom.
It was so awesome, man. I missed that.
Back in the day.
I do miss it too. Like I remember debating like all the time, like they always would have like the top 10, or they always did the movie castings and stuff.
Right.
That was my favorite. The movie
those
castings,
are great.
yeah.
We don't have anything like that now, in comics.
Nah.
I mean, we have the websites, but those are trash if you ask me, compared to Wizard. Wizard was great. Read about so many new stuff in there, new series. There was people I knew that didn't collect comics, but they bought Wizard every month so that they could still have that comic experience through Wizard, So
right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I miss that too. I miss that whole aspect of it, But yeah, that's
it was
awesome,
also a price guide, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a monthly updated price guide, which was handy. You go, oh well, I have this book, I have that book. They kept on top of the trend. I mean, now you have Overstreet, but you have to buy that. Was it monthly or quarterly or something?
It's like every year, I think.
Yearly, yeah, it's still
a yearly book.
Yeah.
And that was never as fun as Wizard. Wizard was just so much fun.
Of course not. Yeah.
Overstreet is like, it was just like, it's like reading the Wall Street Journal.
Exactly.
It was just what it is, Whereas, Wizard was like a fun magazine. Every page was something different and something. And then I loved that they used to stick shit on the margins and yeah, it was great, man. Great stuff. Missed that. And they always gave you something every issue, a card or, like a mini comic or something. I always loved that. So
posters.
Yeah, I miss all that, man.
Yeah.
Actually. I wonder if my camera will reach. I have a page of Wizard magazine on my wall. I'm going to try this, guys. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can.
Is everything working again, John?
What did you say, Harry?
You just got everything working again, and now
I know, right? My camera won't reach, but if you can see this right here, they did a fake ad, like Calgon, Take Me Away.
Okay.
This is Retcon, Take Me Away. This is when Retcon was still happening. Like,
That's great.
when it was just starting, where they would be like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I missed that shit, man. It was great magazine. So Ben, how did you go from that to becoming a creator?
So I was really into comic books, and I started creating my own characters, just like me and my brother. I would like tell him stories and create these characters, like draw these pages and stuff.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be a writer. That was my thing. I was like, I want to be a writer someday. I want to write for Marvel Comics. But then there was an issue of Wizard magazine where Rob Liefeld and like the rest of the Image guys kind of broke off to do Image.
Yep.
And I remember reading that article, and then I was like, I want to be an artist. Like, that's what I want to do now.
Yeah, so you grew up in the 90s when all that was happening.
Yeah.
That's the golden age for a lot of us, at that period of time. That, I think, still was one of the best eras of comics, A lot of change, a lot of different things happening, So, yeah, I miss it, man. I think that's good stuff. The Tony, I forget what your gateway into comics was. If you don't mind.
My mom got me this giant trade of the Death and Return of Superman.
Okay.
Yeah. I just love the big scope of the story, all the different Supermans that they did. It just had like this big story feel to it, and that really kind of captured my imagination. So ever since then, I wanted to write stories, that had just as big a scope, that just kind of felt really large. Yeah.
There's going to be a big Superman, show at Rhode Island this year.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot of the actors coming, right? A lot of
they got a few of the Supermen that are going to be there.
Everyone except for Cavill that I've noticed is going to be there. So,
no, that's cool. Yeah, I remember the death, and then they did like the death of Superman, and then like the funeral after, and then there was like the reign of Superman. That was all really good and well planned comics. I feel like that doesn't happen as much nowadays than it used to back then. I really like that too. That was like almost like a 2-year kind of thing, wasn't it?
I mean, the book that I read was humongous. So
yeah, I remember. I love that. I was collecting at the time. I wasn't even collecting Superman, but I remember the hysteria like at the time when that was happening. I remember going to the store. I hadn't ordered it, and everyone was coming in to buy it. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should get this. Like I had that FOMO, So I ended up buying a copy, and I was like, Yeah, this is great. And I've collected Superman for a couple of years after that because I enjoyed it so much, Something about those long-running storylines where they change a lot of stuff. I love that, and
things that would have an impact in the continuity that would stick.
Right.
I feel like that doesn't happen anymore, right? Where it's just like you'll have a one-off storyline and somehow things will mysteriously reset by the end of it. But, I think that's part of what made Civil War so great.
Yeah.
When that happened was because there was repercussions that was felt permanently through the Marvel universe until they decided to, scrap everything again,
Right. And then if you think about it too, with the death of Superman, how much new stuff did we get out of that? Like we got Steel, we got the new Superboy who's back again. And then we also got the
Superman
cyborg
blue and
Superman.
red.
Yeah. That came later. That one was not as well done. Yeah, I just remember reading about that, and it sounded so lame. I never read it, and I remember they were trying to. There was like a promo piece about it. They're like, bullets don't bounce off them; they go through them, and I'm like, whoa, that's not exciting at all. So. I just remember how lame that was when that was coming out. That was pretty bad. But I love that stuff. I love that era of comics, and that was part of that '90s thing too. Isn't it right around there? Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, you guys have got some cool projects too. Like I will definitely take a look at both of them. So I don't know. Tell us. I guess we'll start with Ben. Tell us a little bit about the project you got going on.
So back in 2018, my brother and I decided to start our own comic book company, and it's called Halloween Ahead Comics. And so we start putting out every year on Halloween it's like a double feature. I don't want to call it an anthology. It was a double feature.
Nice.
So 2 stories per issue, and we did that for 3 years. And then the 4th year, we decided to collect all those issues and throw in like a bonus story. And so that's what this is.
Cool.
This is the Second Chance campaign. And so
this is like a collected edition of all those double features. That's cool.
Yeah. So
I like that you guys did that. It's like a drive-in thing. Like it's good like that. Yeah. That's great. Are you a big horror guy, you and your brother?
I am. Yeah. I love Twilight Zone, and that's kind of my inspiration for this. And specifically, there's a story I wrote in there called Mine, which is kind of like a takeoff from Long Distance Call, which is my favorite Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Nice.
How many years worth of stories is this collected? So how many seasons essentially?
So 3 years. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I saw that you're doing the campaign on Fund My Comics. How's your experience with that new crowdfunding platform?
It's been okay. Honestly, I don't think it gets as much traffic as Indiegogo did.
Okay.
I think that's the only downside. Other than that,
it's so new. Like I just started hearing about it recently, and I feel like that people are. I mean, there's so many now, like crowdfunders. It's hard to tell what, where people are going and which ones you trust, and
Right. Yeah.
So it's been like kind of like the traffic has been a little light.
Yeah, it's been a little light, but I mean that's all right. It's a second chance campaign. I already have the books printed. It's just a second chance for people to get the book if they want it.
That's cool.
It's not a make or break campaigit or anything.
Right. So if you don't make it, it's like, oh, I already got the book. So
yeah.
Are you going to fulfill either way, even if it?
I already started fulfilling. It's
okay.
Yeah, because one of the options on Fund My Comic, which is pretty cool, is you can like keep it or wait until you fulfill or get your funded amount. And so I went ahead and just did the keep it. That way, whoever buys it, there's no risk to them whether I make the goal or not. They're getting the book.
Gotcha. That's a cool thing.
Yeah,
that's cool. I'm glad you're doing that. So even if it doesn't fulfill, you'll get the book if you back it. How many days are left on the campaign?
It's like 15 days left, I think.
Okay.
That's not bad. I just took a glance on my other screen. Looks like you're at 41%, so it's doable. It's doable.
What attracted you to Fund My Comic versus, say, going to Kickstarter?
I just want to try something new. And like I said, it was a second chance campaign, so there's no risk, really. I'm just checking it out.
That's probably the best way to do it, like, especially where it's low risk because it is a second chance. It's like, let me try this, and then maybe next time you can try Crowdfunder or Zoop. I don't know if Zoop takes like little creators or not, but
so someone was telling me Zoop might be created specifically, I think. So I'm not too sure.
I heard something about they're curated, but like they do they'll do everything for you, so they take a bigger chunk of your earnings.
Okay, all right.
So like they try to do all the the promo
A to
stuff,
Z, everything.
A to Z.
They do the printing and shipping
for
too.
you.
Yeah,
what's that?
They do the printing and shipping, I think.
Yeah, so they do everything, Johnny. So they take a bigger chunk, and then you have less to do, basically.
I mean, that sounds nice, but I mean, I don't know. I think I'd rather just do the little extra legwork, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. Like once you get in the groove of it,
Yep.
So
yep.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my next campaign. I think I don't know if I'm going to try. I might try Kickstarter again. I don't know. I like Indiegogo, but I may try Kickstarter. I don't know. I'm still mulling it around. With all these different...
You can always do both. You know what I mean?
Run
it one way and then the other.
Yeah, and Tony, I saw that you have the second volume of Star Noir on Kickstarter, which is great. And so I know me and Johnny have both read it. So yeah,
awesome. It's
so if you want to hear our feedback,
oh, it's so awesome! I love it. I love
Tony,
it. Oh, it's such a good book.
I would say it's great.
So many like moments where the book pops.
Yeah.
And I texted Tony earlier. The bar fight was one of my favorites. The rough and tumble noir vernacular that you pepper through the book, I love. I think that's great. The dynamic between the two main characters, how they come together. Something playing a little bit on the psyche of the main character as well. And then the main character has like these Han Solo vibes, with where he's just kind of like this rough and tough badass, but he's got a little bit of charm too,
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it as well. I think you hit all the noir tropes, except like I think the one thing that was missing, but I like that you didn't have it in the book, was that the main character wasn't this drunk, like like most of the noir guys are like drunks that are like they barely can function unless they're doing a mystery,
but so he's got something going on. There's something going on with him though, so I picked up on that.
Yeah,
usually like the main noir detectives are always broken in a big way, usually at the beginning of a story.
Well, like Hardigan in Sin City.
What's that?
Right, like Hardigan in Sin City.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there might be is there a little inspiration there, Tony, Hardigan at all, or
no? Like he came from mostly Alan, the main character, came mostly from like Humphrey Bogart.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
I like that you didn't do that, Tony. I like that the guy. The guy has stuff going on. Obviously, he had that flashback to being abducted and things like that.
He's got the
so there's something
issue,
going on there,
right? Or something.
What was that, John?
He's got like a ticker issue or something, right? Something up with the heart.
What's funny about like the first book, like every question that you have that's been raised, like there's a very good answer later in the series, whether it's in the whether it's answered in the next book or in there's 6 books. So we kind of did our best to kind of set up everything that we can, everything from what you perceive as a heart condition, to going to the veteran housing site, the fight with the gangster, like all of that comes back again. Like that,
Gotcha.
None of those things are one-offs.
Right, it's like a piece of the overall puzzle, which is great. Yeah,
and that's why I felt like it's such a great issue 1, is because it set up a lot of stuff. It set the tone for the story, like really magnificent job. Like anybody who's looking to write a really good issue 1 of a story, Star Noir #1 is a great example. It's
the tone is
excellent
perfect.
Work, Tony.
Thank you.
Fucking nailed it, kid.
The noir tone is perfect. It also like reminded me a lot, for some reason, of Alien Nation. I don't know if you took any inspiration from that.
It felt less like Alien Nation after I read it.
Did it?
It did. I
think it's just because it's the aliens there, and like they're both cops. I kind of got that vibe from it, but But I thought you nailed it, dude, too. I really liked the first issue. I kind of hate that there's 6 issues because I want to read it all now, you know.
Yeah,
That's how I do most miniseries. Like wait till I get all the issues and read it together, you know. But yeah, I can't wait.
Too. I could see that book at Image or Dark Horse.
Oh, absolutely. It's that
Very
good.
easily.
Yeah, the art is amazing. The lettering is solid.
But with
storytelling's great. So
yeah. But with the first book being essentially Act 1, now that the two characters have met, they partnered up, we understand what the stakes are. Book 2 really dials it up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it's kind of the struggle with the Act 1. It's like, you don't want to show all your cards, but you really kind of have to hook the reader. And it's like, if you were doing like a movie trailer for Star Noir, all of the great stuff you still haven't seen yet.
Gotcha.
Right. Can you give a little bit of an elevator pitch to people? Because we kind of jumped right into it.
Yeah.
Give people a little bit of an idea of what the story's about.
Okay, so this is LA Noir meets the X-Files. It is about a 1940s detective, Alan Miller, and he teams up with this gray alien to stop a shapeshifter who is killing LAPD officers in Central Station. The shapeshifter looks like one of Alan's fellow officers. So there's a constant, McCarthyism there, just constantly looking over your shoulder. You don't really know who is the alien, who to trust. And as our two characters are trying to figure out who that is, more cops in Central Station are dying.
Cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I like where it's heading. Like I'm hooked. I definitely gotta get the next one. I'll get all 6 too as you produce them. Are you doing like 2 a year?
Well, hopefully this campaign I think it'll outperform the first one. And so hopefully that opens up an option to do another Kickstarter for a completely separate book so I can kind of go between Star Noir and another series. Gotcha.
Yeah, so you got a few more ideas you want to get out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah, I like it. I think it's definitely got legs, and I think anybody that's likes a good mystery, good mashup of genres, and I think they'd love this book.
Yeah, if you like LA Noir, or if you like the X-Files, like there's a real haunting tone from like the X-Files that we bring into this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
definitely see that.
My dad is a really big horror fanatic, so I kind of grew up with the giant cabinet of horror VHSs. So,
man, I wish I could see what was in that cabinet. I love
all right.
Too much. I watched all the big horror scale, like Friday the 13th, all the Friday the 13th, like all the Nightmare on Elm, like way too young, like 10 years old.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yes.
I wasn't warped at all.
That's how you got that mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
That's how you got that mustache. You grew a mustache. You became a man young.
Yeah.
He had that at 16.
Yeah.
No, but it kind of reminds me of like what's the other thing? They Live, kind of, like
a little bit like that. I could see that.
And the current, the Marvel wars, like the
Secret Wars,
Secret
Invasion.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
yeah,
like
Secret
that.
Invasion.
Yeah, with the alien stuff, we really try to keep a constant sense of believability. Star Noir is supposed to be like a balance between the two genres, and we don't want the sci-fi elements to just come in and then just push the noir stuff to the side. So anytime we have to show something with aliens, it's how does it fit into this 1940s world in a way that would seem believable?
It's also kind of like
go ahead, Harry. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, like Martian Manhunter almost a little bit too, because isn't he a cop too when he comes here?
Yeah.
Shapeshifter as well. So,
right. It's all that stuff.
Marie LeBron's here. Hello, Marie. Roland asks, "Will there be a smoking man?" I think the main character smokes, doesn't he?
He more drinks than smokes.
More drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of aliens, I have a question for Ben.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of your stories, it's the unknown incident at Kecksburg.
Yeah.
Which is actually a true. Is it based on a true story? I think there was an actual incident there, like an acorn thing fell.
Right. Yeah. And, so this is kind of the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And the guy, a character in that story, Mr. Knapp, is that based on George? Is that George Knapp almost?
It's based on George Knapp. I took inspiration from his name. I'm a George Knapp fan.
Oh yeah, big fan too. Yeah.
What's this story? I'm not familiar with it.
So the incident at Kecksburg, there was this acorn-shaped UFO that landed out there. It's Kecksburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the cover-up story was. I don't know if they said it was a satellite or what, but there's all these theories.
Russian
was there an abduction or something, or was it just
just a UFO crash?
It was a crash. Okay.
And many people saw it, like the people from Indiana, people from Midwest, Northern, like people from Canada saw it too. And then,
cool.
then NASA denied it, or the government denied it ever happened. But they took away these craft from the.
What year was this? Did they have any footage or anything?
65.
I don't think there was any footage, but there was eyewitnesses who said there was like strange writing on the outside of the ship as well.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Huh. So you did a story on that incident?
Based on that incident.
Oh, cool.
Well, they called it the Pennsylvania Roswell, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. I know James Tinian just did a mini series based on the incident in New Hampshire, with the husband and wife from the
Barney and Betty.
Barney and Betty Hill.
Yeah, Barney and Betty Hill, and that I wasn't familiar with that story, but the comic was very interesting and entertaining.
They were an interracial couple too, but I wonder if they came first or the cartoon Barney and Betty in the Flintstones.
It was around the same time.
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they got the names from there or something.
But that was a whole story about like lost time or missing time.
Missing time, yeah, that was part of the storyline. Yeah, that's a good mini series if you guys get a chance to read it. The cool thing is it has a backup story of some other nonsense that's supernatural or whatever, like one of the stories was about somebody about spontaneous combustion, and it was all like based on eyewitness accounts and things like that, so
Ben, I take it you're a personal believer of extraterrestrial life then, right?
Yeah, man, I gotta have an open mind.
You got an open mind. How about you, Tony?
Are you a writer?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tony, do you keep an open mind, or are you just using it as a writing tool?
I think both. I keep an open mind and use it as a writing tool. I mean, a lot of the alien encounters in Star Noir, like they are inspired from alien abduction stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Johnny, do you not believe in aliens? Or
I don't know. I guess it's a real hot subject right now that the government's always having committee meetings and talking about it and whatnot. And this guy's out there saying that there's actual stuff that's
I think it's almost
the government's in possession of. It makes you think about it, but
I think it's almost impossible that we're alone. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, like I kind of feel that too. Like that's what I kind of believe.
This big giant thing in the sky that we look at every day, like the sun, is a star, So we're just the whole Goldilocks thing, we're just so close to it, you know what I mean? That gives us life here on Earth, But when you look at tonight, what you see, if it's clear, you see a bazillion other stars out there. So the possibility of it happening again is so like, right? It can totally happen again.
But do you think it's actual extraterrestrial life from a galaxy away coming here? I mean, isn't that so far?
Or
for them to make it here, it seems almost implausible, doesn't it?
Not to sound like a nerd, but there's like a interdimensional things, aspects, or it could be maybe humans in the future develop time travel. Maybe it's us trying to warn us of the stupid things we're doing. You know what I mean?
If I have to put my conspiracy theory hat on, my favorite conspiracy theory is that UFOs and alien life are just a very, very advanced human race discovering or finally getting through to time travel and coming back. And I don't know what they're trying to do, but maybe it's something that they're, maybe they're trying to avoid the Earth from blowing up or something.
Right.
Who knows?
We're doing stupid things right now with
Yeah,
atomic weapons, and whatnot.
Maybe they're trying to sabotage that for our betterment. Who knows?
Yep.
Sounds like a good idea for a comic, Johnny. That you
right. Johnny,
Man, my
start
plate's
outlining.
so full.
Start
Plate's so
outlining
full,
it.
but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of agree with you guys. I think it just got to be something out there besides us, like
And if there's not, how stupid are we? Every single day we're killing each other, with the wars and stuff, and the only thing that has life on it, the only planet with life on it, like we're stupid.
Well, on the flip side too,
we don't deserve to live, if that's it,
on the flip side is like all these aliens travel so far to get here just to play with our buttholes, like
right.
So it's like that's that part of it's kind of,
maybe they don't have them. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe
that's why they're
trying to figure out how it works.
Like, what the hell is this? There's a hole in this one.
Hopefully they're not as dumb though, because like the ones in like the movie Signs, when they come here, like, and the one thing they can kill them is water. Yeah. Who's flying that spaceship?
Yeah, like that was such a horrible plot hole, but I do like that movie still. Like I think it has good suspense.
That and the other part
if you can let that part of it go, like
the other part of it is Mel Gibson when he's actually fighting with an alien and he like locks in the closet and
the whole ending when they're in the house and it's very Night of the Living Dead. That stuff's great. Like I love that part of the movie. But anyways, so I don't know. I'm glad Ben. I'm glad you have something like UFO. Is that the only story in your book that's like that?
I'm trying to think if I have any other alien stuff in there. I think it is. I think that's the only alien stuff I have. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So let's.
I was just going to say one more recommendation for an alien movie. Just watched No One Will Save You. Awesome. Highly recommend
we saw that too.
I want to see
that.
Bad.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. A good suspense. No dialogue, which was interesting.
No dialogue. That's what got me about that. There's like 2 words spoken throughout the whole movie practically. It's real good.
I like that girl
from
Booksmart and Justified. She's a really good actress.
I was like, how do I know this girl? I watched the whole movie. I'm trying to put my thumb on it. Now I know it's from Booksmart.
Booksmart and Justified. Yeah, she was great in Justified too. The early seasons. But yeah, that was a good one. I like that one too, Johnny. It was I
enjoyed it.
It made like aliens very scary, especially that spider one. That spider one was really cool looking.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good horror movie for this time of year, so
highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Definitely. I was gonna say let's take a look at the campaign.
Fire it up.
So
let's look at them.
We can take a look and we'll start with Ben since he's the newest guest here. So this is from Fun My Comics. Ben, why don't you give us the quick elevator pitch for your series here?
Yeah, so Tricks or Treats Volume 1 is a collected edition of 3 issues. It's got 7 stories, 104 pages of art and story. Anything ranging from Lovecraft to UFOs, Sasquatch, and ghost stories.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it. I love this image. It's a great cover.
Yeah, was that Jack Chupacabra in the back?
A Chupacabra?
No, it's like a fish, monster.
Fishman? Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's scroll down, take a look at some of the artwork here. This is both you and your brother, you said?
Yeah, so me and my brother started it, but then I asked some friends to join in. So in the later issues, you'll see some artwork from some of my friends in there.
And this is an example of one of yours, Ben, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I love it's got that painted look. I love that.
Yeah, we did ink washes on the first issue. Yeah, because we decided to go black and white, and we decided, let's do some ink wash.
Dude, I like it. So you wrote and drew it, huh? That's great.
Yeah, this one's based on Dagon, the H.P. Lovecraft story. Yeah,
I like that movie too.
Kind of a modern take on it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. Like, I knew you did some Halloween stuff. I remember when I was on your show a while back. I took a look at some of your books and stuff, and this stuff looks fun, man. I'm a horror guy, so I definitely in. So yeah, I just wanted to take a page through all the artwork here. Yeah, this is great, man. Really fun stuff. Anything you want to shout out about the stories that we're looking at, or
yeah, if you scroll back up to that second story,
this one right here.
Yeah, this one was written and drawn by my brother. This is probably my favorite story in the whole book. My brother did an awesome job with this. It's called The Tree of Life. And if you scroll down to that next page, you'll see what the Tree of Life is. It's actually body parts that are mashed together.
Cool. Oh, look at that.
I felt like that was like the creepiest image. It's a double page spread. This is only half of it. But
looks good. I mean, I love the ink wash. Looks really nice on these pages. I gotta admit.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Looks really cool. It really works with the way you did the lettering, where some of it's colored, like right here too. And really cool stuff. And it gives, like Johnny said, gives this like painted look to it, even though it's
right.
It's great. How about this one?
Yeah, this was written by my friend Tommy, and it's drawn by my friend Johnny, and I did the colors on it.
Oh, cool. So were you and your brother involved in every story in some capacity?
In some way, yeah.
Is this about the Wendigo?
Yeah, this is the Sasquatch, and the
Wendigo. Sasquatch, nice. Yeah. Awesome. Looks kind of like the one from Bigfoot Knows Karate, doesn't it, Johnny?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
He's got a little bit of that vibe, the shagginess there.
Yeah, the
Dan
beard
Price would be proud.
Yeah, he would. It's great. And this one is also written by you, and your brother did the art. This is more traditional comics kind of look.
Right. Yeah, good this stuff, is the one that Harry was talking about. This is the Unknown Entity Kecksburg.
Yeah. Oh, is this it right here? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nice. Yes, this old man, he's this ex-Psy operative. He's psychic. Okay. They bring him in to communicate with the Bigfoot.
Mr. Knapp.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
This one is written by Manda Owens, and your brother did the art, and you did the colors. Okay. Yeah, this looks great, dude. This looks like a lot of fun. How was reception when because you said this is a second chance, right? So how did the first campaign do? Well?
Yeah, it did great. I think we funded in 24 hours. We hit our goal.
No kidding.
Yeah, and after that, everything else was just extra. It was awesome.
That's awesome, dude. I like in your style, like looks like you're very versatile with different styles, like because this is your artwork here, right?
Right. Yeah.
True, so this form is more anthology. Yeah.
Yeah, this is that story I was talking about. That was kind of based on Long Distance Call.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I love that with the ghost arms and stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks cool, dude. It looks very good horror stuff. And how many stories are in the actual? Cool.
There's 7 stories in this one.
I gotcha. How many pages is the graphic novel? Do you know?
It's 104 pages total.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Halloween Head Comics. I even like the name of the company, Halloween Head Comics. It's great. So you still plan on making more horror comics down the road as you go?
Yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, you helped letter one of the short stories that's going into the next
one. I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I did do some lettering work for Ben a couple months ago for a vampire story. Is that going to be one of the ones in the...
Yeah, it'll be one of the stories in the next volume.
Awesome. I really liked it. It's awesome. Very Mobius, very Blade. It reminded me of that a little bit, And it sort of had like a little bit of like a manga kind of origin and thing, it reminded me a lot of things. It was great. Yeah, so that's cool. I can't wait for that to come out then.
Yeah,
I'll definitely
that'll be next year.
Next year, awesome. Yeah, it was fun to work on too, man. I had a blast lettering that.
You did.
Are these all like sketch things that are available as well, or?
Yeah, so that part of the campaign is closed already. But we were offering sketches, my brother and I.
Oh, gotcha.
So these are some samples.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, is that Robert Geronimo's Wirehead?
It is. Are you or do you know GJ Martinez or what's his last name? I can't remember his last name.
I've heard of him and talked to him, but I'm not sure.
He's a big time art collector, and he loved Rob's character.
Okay.
And so he asked us to do this, and so my brother and I each did a character.
Nice. Cool. I like that. So who did who?
So I did Rob's character, Wirehead.
And your brother did Jason.
And my brother did Jason Voorhees, yeah.
Nice. Love it. That's great, man. Great stuff.
Love that so Jason Voorhees. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I want to look at the tiers here too and just make sure and see what. So what do you recommend? Just the
right now, all that's left is like the basic one. So it's just like there's that one that's just a 2-pack.
Oh, it's a 2-pack of everything.
Right, and then the single is $25.
Okay, that's not too bad. Do you have a digital option?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay, I may end up backing that because I've been doing a lot more digital lately, just because I'm working part time now, so I don't have the nice disposable income I used to, when I was working full time. So I've been doing a lot more digital tiers, so I'll definitely I definitely want to back you before this ends. So I got 14 days to go. So
yeah,
I'll have to remember that or try to do it. Does Fund My Comics? Does it work like is it like Kickstarter or Indiegogo where it takes the money right away or after the campaign? Or
so you get to choose. You get to
choose
you get to, whether
you
want
the actual consumer gets to choose.
You the seller, I guess.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You choose what type of campaign you want to run.
Gotcha.
And so I'm doing the keep it, like I said, where
gotcha.
So you pay for it. It's like buying from a store, basically. Like
gotcha.
Store.
Okay. Yeah. I prefer that though, like as a creator, because I'd rather have the money up front than wait 3 weeks and then their card's no good anymore, kind of thing,
Yeah.
Was it saying? Roland had a couple comments here. Chupacabras were first sighted in Puerto Rico during the early 90s. My grandmother had a bunch of Chupacabra merch she got while visiting family. That's great. Awesome. Neil Adams would have a conniption hearing Keith confuse a Sasquatch with a Wendigo. Probably. I can hear him now at Terrificon going on. That's awesome.
Ben, the video, how long is it?
I can't remember. Honestly, it's been a while since I played it.
It's just a straight up trailer, or is it? Like
it's pretty much reading basically everything I wrote down in the campaign. So you don't have to play it if you don't want to.
We can take a look.
If it's short, let's check it out. I wouldn't mind.
Let me make sure I have the audio. Hang on.
Yeah,
make sure I have the audio set up here first. Let's see. Share.
Now, so are you playing the next campaign, Ben, for next Halloween, or how are people going to be able to get that story that Keith worked on?
Yeah, so that'll come out next Halloween. Will be like the delivery date, or a little bit before.
Okay.
So I'll probably start the campaign next July.
Okay,
that's good that you're working on it so far ahead too.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I should be done with it by January, and then I'm starting my next books because I try to keep ahead. That way,
that's good. Smart
time in between.
Sure.
Yeah, very smart to do that. All right, let's check it out. 2 minutes. So hopefully it's
not bad.
From the pages of issue 1, in Land of Dagon, an ordinary cruise ship is met with an unusual storm that tosses the ship into chaos. At the end of it, the ship and its crew find themselves stranded in a strange land. The captain and a few crew members set out to search for help, but what they find instead horrifies them. In Tree of Life, a professor believes he has found the key to immortality. He hires a 2-man security team to accompany him in his search for the Tree of Life. Their adventure takes a dark turn when their plane is forced down in a mysterious jungle. The team finds they are not alone, and worse yet, deathly wrong about the treasure they hope to find. From the pages of issue 2, in More Than They Can Chew, a young group of friends are lost in the backwoods of Oklahoma and being hunted by cannibal psycho hillbillies, who in turn are being hunted by a Bigfoot, because their matriarch is a manifestation of pure evil.
That looks cool. Awesome.
In The Unknown Incident at Kecksburg, Otis Knapp is a retired PSY operative who is called back into action to help the government communicate and assess the intentions of a Bigfoot and gray alien that were found at the crash site of what is known as the Kecksburg Incident. From the pages of issue 3, in Mulrooney, Clara travels to her great-uncle's castle to help him manage the property for a season. The The castle's dark past is revealed, and her very presence invokes the things that once resided in the old manor. In Mine, a single mother struggles against her verbally abusive father for her son's devotion. After her father passes, things don't improve as she had hoped, and her son begins to talk to her dead father through a tin can phone. She soon learns that those conversations were not a coping mechanism and fights to save her son before it's too late.
Awesome,
Great
man.
stuff, dude.
Great trailer. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Good work.
really good stuff. Yeah, so let me, before I jump out of here, let me put that in the chat here. So if you guys are watching, the link for oops, I did not want to do that. I put the wrong one.
Oh, whoops.
Oops.
Hey, if everyone wants to jump on board.
Yeah. Yeah, they put the wrong link in there.
Come on in.
So there's the link for the campaign. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Should I ban myself? Yeah. I don't know if I can delete it. Yeah. All right. So no one clicked that link.
Nobody clicked that link. Actually, click it. They're all no green. They'd stay in the green room anyway, right?
Yeah. They'd have to let them in if they. Anyways, so there's the link for Fund My Comics for Trick or Treats. And it's basically like a horror and
it's a horror
double
anthology
feature, right?
It's a horror anthology. It was double feature when there were single issues, but now it's an anthology.
Gotcha.
I like the double feature aspect though. Reminds me of Creature double feature.
Yeah, I love that part too. And now let's take a look at Tony's campaign for Star Noir #2. Wow, you're chugging right along, Tony. You're getting there.
Killing it, man.
Days to go, and you're that's going to be at least 60% almost.
Over half.
Yeah, over half. It's been a pretty incredible response. The first campaign, it raised just under 11K, and then since people kept messaging me, I did an Indiegogo, and that raised 4K, and that's still in demand.
Oh, cool. So people can get the first one right away through there if they want.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was funny. Like the day I launched this, I had to take 3 books from the Indiegogo to the post office. So it's like launching one and mailing for a completely separate site.
That's what's happening to me right now because mine's fulfilled, but I'm leaving it open till the end of the month. But I'm getting an order here and there, and I'll pack it up and just get it out the door, kind of thing.
But yeah, just on the first day for the first campaign, we raised like $700, and on the first day for the second campaign for this book, it was like $2,500.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, I turned it on.
People are responding to it. Yeah.
I turned it on. I walked away. I came back at the end of the day. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's great. Isn't that a great feeling, though?
Yeah,
it is.
Did you see any? I know it's a little early, but did you see any uptick from NYCC? We did get all cards. I think were taken from the table by the end of it.
Really? Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, any uptick from NYCC?
Oh yeah, I definitely got some people. It's really kind of like the this week will really tell me because they were like I gave out like 100 cards to different people, talking to people about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I got a little bit of an uptick. Just trying to get over 60% right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no,
you're pacing well, dude. Like,
yeah,
you got so much more time to go still.
But yeah, I can tell you, I can contextualize a lot of what you're seeing right here.
Yeah.
So when this takes place immediately after where the first book ends. It's like literally the same day.
Okay.
So in the morning, what you didn't see while Alan was doing his thing. This is Detective Ray Foster. He is the partner of the late Patrick Perkins, who was killed by the alien on the bridge.
Okay.
If you remember from the investigation scene, Alan told Ray to go check out the home of Roger Mackey, who was the owner of the Starlight that was abandoned on the bridge. And so Ray goes to that home. And he has a run-in with the shapeshifter, and things don't go too well for him while he encounters him.
That was actually one of the things I loved about the first issue there, Tony, was the timestamps. You know what I mean? It had a very Dragnet kind of feel to it in a way, you know?
yeah, we definitely keep that going in the second book.
Nice.
And this is Stella Belafonte and the Flavorful Five, her band. They were teased via a flyer that Alan is looking at the bar scene in the first book. When we link up with Alan Ellis, Alan is still trying to be a little cynical about the whole alien existence thing. He's trying to explain it away, and then he meets Stella, and you can tell by her eyes that she has a little secret of her own. And in a very horrifying scene between Alan and Stella, he has undeniable proof of the existence of aliens, and not only that, he needs to start following this lead if he wants to solve this case, this murder case.
Cool. Gotcha.
And she sings a really fun song about poisoning your husband.
That's great. This page looks great.
We introduced a couple of new side characters. This is Private Detective Louis Simpson. Patrick Perkins's wife does not trust the LAPD. She correctly suspects that one of the officers killed her husband. So she hires Louis, who's very cocky detective. But Alan is he's very determined to get the information that he needs. So he roughs up Louis a little bit. He damages his very expensive beloved car. And yeah, we learn more about Patrick Perkins and why he was out on that bridge in the beginning of book one.
Gotcha. Cool stuff. These pages are awesome, man.
I love the coloring.
And thank you.
Yeah,
coloring is
coloring
great
right there.
Yeah.
Love that panel right there.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, what I love about Vinicius Townsend, he's a colorist from Brazil. He's done some G.I. Joe covers. He really brings this like really vintage sort of style to it. I mean, just kind of, I don't know. I can't stop looking at the little details that he puts in. There's like almost like specks on the suits and on the lighting. It makes it really feel like of the time.
Yeah, it does. There's something that he does to the coloring that does do that. I agree.
Yeah. This is a recap of book one, but this book two campaign, it's like it's pitching people who read the first book, but also like pitching the people who have not read it yet. So
right. Yeah,
doing a balancing act of showing them. Yeah, and these are our brand new rewards for the second book. We have 2 new 4x6 postcards. These are panels from the second book. An 11 by 17 cover poster of these the book 2 cover, which is inspired by the poster for the Maltese Falcon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we took our inspiration for that, and even did a black and white version. If you would like to hang that up on your wall,
that's cool, man. I like the black and white version. That's classy.
Yeah.
It is cool.
I like that. Yeah, and then we did a pinup of Stella Belafonte. It was inspired by a lot of 1940s pinup art. That's the inspiration we took from that. So
wait, is this add-on or stretch goal?
No, these are part of the actual rewards. This is like the 4th reward tier to get the Stella.
Oh, okay. Right on.
And then if you keep scrolling, you'll get to the add-ons there. So if you've not read the first book, there's a whole rewards here that you can get both books. But if you want some of the extra stuff like the pinup, but you still want a copy of the first book, you can get the first book as an add-on, including the poster for the first comic book, and then these baseball cards that we made up for the first campaign, where we kind of list the stats and the personality traits of some of the main characters. And the idea is to continue to expand them, so there'll be more baseball cards as we go on.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let me see. Stretch goals.
Oh, and then
stretch goals. Then the team of creative team.
Yep.
Awesome, man. And then let's look at the tiers or the perks for this one, and then maybe the video as well. So you have the normal. Is this just the thank you?
It's the thank you tier. Yeah.
Okay, so you just get thanked. You don't get the book, right? Or
just your name at the end of the book.
Gotcha. So this is the book, or this is digital.
This is digital for book 2. Which was kind of funny. The group for the digital copy in both the first book on Kickstarter and Indiegogo was really small. Like more people wanted to get the physical copy of this thing, which was
I found that even on my campaign, like I had a very small digital, but it was sizable enough that I still include it,
Mm-hmm.
I think I got at least 10 people that took advantage of digital, which is, decent, It's money that you leave it on the table if you don't do it, in other words, So
For sure. This time we did it as more of a time thing. So if you're trying to get a digital copy, it says right there, there's 3 days left to get a digital tier.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could do that with Kickstarter perks. You could do. Is it that you just have to physically take it off the campaign, or?
Well, you can't remove tiers once you add them. So the only way
you can set a timer on them.
But you can set a timer on it, and then also I found that time-based incentives are really effective.
They are, yeah.
So it really kind of gets people in the mix moving. This is the physical copy for the book 2.
Okay.
It's actually longer than the than book 1.
Oh wow.
So there's more story this time.
Oh, very cool. That's cool. And then the setup is this books 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's the digital for books 1 and 2. That's the physical for the one. That's physical, for books 1 and 2.
Gotcha. Nice. So you get both there if you haven't read it.
Yeah.
Silk Stocking. This is.
But those are the 2 4x6 postcards of the.
And then book 2. Gotcha.
And book 2 comes with that, of course. That's the pinup with the postcards and the book. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But pinup's not available as an add-on, right?
No, it's through that. It's just through that tier.
Gotcha. Tier. Very wise, sir. Very wise marketing maneuver.
That's the first poster tier where you get the cover. You get the cover, the pinup, the postcards, and the book. And this is the one, the black and white one. There's only a limited number of these. There's only now there's only 18 of these.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
and we did some early bird stuff on day 1 for the first 24 hours, which I think Johnny took advantage of.
I did take advantage.
So what was the early bird stuff, Tony?
Blow the early bird for the pinup, I think.
Did you get anything special by doing the early bird?
No, we just took $5 off.
Okay.
You just wanted to save a little money. On either you were getting the second book, or if you were here for the first time, you saved a little money on the 2 books.
That's smart.
So it was great.
The guy in me and the pervert in me are at a war with each other right now.
These are more early birds that were done. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's been a pretty wild journey so far. I feel like since August 29th of last year, when I launched the campaign for the first book till now, I have not stopped working on Star Noir.
That's a good thing.
It's just every day. Like I was literally doing notes before I jumped up on the stream.
Oh, nice.
This is your full-time job, right? We were saying that over the weekend.
Yeah. I think I've taken off a couple of Sundays in the last 2 years. But outside of that, it's just nonstop. Just constantly working on it. I mean, we have 6 full scripts ready to go. I mean, the team, they took maybe a week break just so I could kind of talk to the printer for a second. And then once that was resolved, we immediately started working on the new pages that you're seeing now.
Oh, nice. Very cool. How long is the video long, or is it?
It's a minute, and we do a previously on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, fire it up.
All right, hang on.
Welcome back, readers. When we last left Los Angeles, Alan Miller, our ex-detective, had nightmares about strange beings. He was tasked with finding out who killed Detective Patrick Perkins, a man whose heart had been removed. With no leads, Miller had a run-in with a UFO, who informed him that a shapeshifter knocked off Perkins. The kicker? The monster also hides within Central Police Station, alongside Alan's fellow officers. Alan deemed his experience utterly bonkers, until he found the UFO he encountered yapping to the captain. The detective barged in to let the alien have it, but instead found Ellis Tate, his new partner. The stage is set. The hard-nosed detective and the eager rookie set off to find their elusive killer. In our next chapter, the two traverse 1940s Los Angeles, meeting UFOs hiding in plain sight as their mystery gets stranger by the day. Meanwhile, the shapeshifter remains at large, hunting down the other detectives of Central Station. Book 2 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And hot diggity dog, get a load of our new rewards. Many of them are exclusive to this very Kickstarter. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
That's great. That's great, dude.
That's so good, dude. So good.
Was that you doing the voice?
Yeah, doing that voice.
Really?
It's real. Awesome. Doing that voice is a lot of work. Like I was in a full-blown sweat, dude, when I was recording.
Oh, I believe it.
Did you speed that up, or is that your natural way of speaking?
No, I didn't speed it up. That was
very nice.
Just,
very nice.
That was just how I did it. But yeah, I got really animated, so I like. Yeah, I was sweating constantly recording that.
We got hey, Matthew Creek with us. I am writing a script for a similar comic. That's awesome, Matt. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
And also, I'm going to share the link for Star Noir, not our stream link again. This is the link for Star Noir Book 2. Looks great. As the first issue, both me and Johnny loved. So.
And I should add on the campaign page, you can actually read the first 9 pages of the first book of book 1. Yep, there you go.
Cool. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so if you're curious about the story, you can read for free. You can read the first 9 pages of book 1 just by going to the campaign. There's a link. It'll take you to a PDF.
Oh, cool. That's a cool idea. Yeah, because you can get enough from the first 9 to kind of get a feel for it, I believe. Yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad idea to get people hooked, check it out.
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. That both campaigns look great. And
looks really good.
I wish you guys both luck. I think you're both going to hit from the looks of it, so I think, I think hopefully we can help move the needle a little bit for you, on this episode.
We don't move it much, but we always move
it a tiny bit, so I'm gonna start wrapping things up because we've been going an hour and 50 minutes, which is crazy. Like it doesn't seem like
time flies by.
Yeah.
Oh my god, doesn't it? We usually when we wrap up, we start to have you guys share other links or any other projects that you might have coming up. I guess we'll start with you, Tony. Any social media, any other projects you want to talk about you got coming up, or
we'll see how the campaign goes. I have another project, it's Cowboys on the Moon, and it's not what it's called, but conceptually it's what it is. And while I am not working on Star Noir, I actually have a YouTube channel where I break down story structure in video games.
Cool.
It's called The Rightist. I did a video on like The Last of Us Part 2, and that got like 48,000 views.
Kidding.
Yeah, awesome. that really popped. So yeah, I work on that when I'm not working on Star Noir.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to sub to you. What was the name of the channel again?
The Rightist. Here, I'll
if you want to share the link,
it in the comments.
I'll share it in the comments.
I got it.
Awesome. And then any other social medias you want to share, Tony? Or
you can find me on Instagram at.
Is that where you are primarily?
Yeah. I am on Twitter at T/J, but I feel like I create a lot of like old timey 1940s reels on Instagram. Nice. So I spend a lot of my energy on Instagram just making those videos.
You should also do it do you when you make a reel like that, do you share it on YouTube as a short?
Not on YouTube. I try to keep the YouTube channel sort of on brand for what it is. I mentioned Star Noir on there. I put up the Kickstarter video and a quick short to pitch it to the YouTube followers. But mostly with the Rightist, I try to keep it
as a separate thing, kind of. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious, because it's an easy way to do multiple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I just put the link in the private. I put it in the private chat.
Perfect. Let me share that to our audience here as well. And there we go. There you go, everybody. That's a link to Tony's YouTube channel. Check it out. I'm actually going to put it in here as well so that I can sub to it when I get a chance. All right, perfect. All right, and then how about you, Ben? Is there any social media, any projects you want to talk about coming up? Or
you can find me on Twitter, and I'm also on Facebook.
Okay.
And I also have a Facebook page for Halloween Heady Comics. You can look up Halloween Heady Comics on Facebook.
Awesome. And then what is your Twitter handle and all that stuff?
Twitter handle is Vehement Studios.
Awesome. And in your next project, you're going to keep going with the double features, correct?
Right. Yeah. And if you want, I can show off that story that you lettered for me.
Yeah, it'd be great. You guys want to see a few pages from that?
Yeah.
This is a vampire story that Ben has coming up. Here, let me.
A vampire
if you want
story
to
that
share
doesn't
your
suck.
screen, Ben, whenever you get when you get a chance, and I'll pick it up here, and then you can kind of drive from there. Here we go.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, these are not the lettered pages, but
yeah. So this is it's a vampire, and like I said, it reminded me a lot of like Morpheus or Blade, something along those lines.
Yeah,
with a little bit of manga influence kind of and added into it.
Yeah, I was going for kind of like a gangster type story, but with vampires instead.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
Yeah, so like vampires try to kill this guy. Like this is him when he's younger. And you see him being lured by this young vampire, and he ends up turning them into a vampire.
I love the colors.
Thanks. Yeah, colors are really cool.
Great colors there. That sunset's awesome.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a revenge story in a lot of ways too, and it's really cool.
So they leave him out to die, and then kind of fast forward back to the future, and he's kind of hunting down that whole pack that left him out to die.
I forget, what was it, like 16 pages or something like that? It was like
it's like a 16-page story.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was fun to work on.
But yeah, that's what I have there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I like the art. Did you do the artwork on this?
No, my friend Mario Williams did the pencils and inks, and I did the colors.
And you wrote it too, right?
Yeah, I'm also the writer.
Oh, and you did the colors. The colors are great on it, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. I tried to emulate like a weird dialogue kind of for the vampire, the main. Is it Cephas? Is that how you say it?
Cephas, yeah.
Cephas. And I tried to do like a kind of like a scraggly kind of.
You did a good job with that, man. I'm
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because like and I tried to make him stand out from the other vampires a little bit and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's my biggest weakness was lettering. So I'm glad I got the opportunity to work with you.
Let me see. I might have some of the pages here.
Okay, I'll stop sharing mine.
Yeah, let me see if I have any of your stuff still in my Dropbox. Let me see. I might not. Oh no, I do. Okay, hang on.
Fire them up.
Let me show you guys a couple of the pages here with the lettering.
And I love Keith's lettering, so you're in for. I don't know if have you seen it yet, Ben? Or
yeah, I've got it.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is like that first page with so I tried to do like a purplish kind of font for the main character, but I made all the other vampires like a black font, like with white lettering and stuff. But it came out pretty fun. I think it came out really good. So
you did a great job, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and this is some of the other pages with the lettering and
cool.
Yeah, let me see.
Looks good, Keith. Awesome job, man.
Yeah,
thanks, man. Appreciate it. And here's the big.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it came out pretty good. I'm looking forward to getting a copy of it in print. Once you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have to keep me informed on that one.
Yeah, I'll send you a comp.
Yeah, definitely, man. Let me share both of your campaigns one more time in the chat. So this is Ben's campaign.
Find that right in the chat
Tricks
down below.
and Treats, Volume 1. You get a bunch of story there for a low price. And then Book Noir or Star Noir, which is book 2 in the series from Tony James. All right, perfect. All right, gentlemen. Johnny, anything you want to shout out this week real quick?
Yes.
Before...
Well, first I want to thank you, Ben. Thank you, Tony, for taking time out of your day to come on the show. It means a lot to us, and I'm really happy that you guys are, sharing your projects with us and with all of our viewers. I'm going to tell everybody out there, go back, Tricks and Treats Volume 1, go back Star Noir, one of the best books I've read in a long time. I love this book. Check it out. This is how you do a good issue 1 right here. Fucking love it, Tony. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to read issue 2. Another thing I wanted to shout out real quick is a big shout out to Global Comics, because one of the things I forgot to mention is when at New York Comic Con, they gave me a media pack, something to help and enable me as a creator. So what they ended up giving me was a burlap bag. It had Global Comics on it. Okay. It had a little leather case that had finger-sized business cards that had a QR code that goes right to my Global Comics page.
Nice.
Oh, really?
They also gave me this cool stand.
Hold on.
Right here. Check this out. So it's a cool stand. It's got the QR code. It says get updates and read new content and material from Shoei Productions. That's the production name of the content I put out. But they gave me 2 of those different types of cards with that little stand that I can take to shows.
Look at that, dude. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
is that something they're going to be selling to creators soon, or is it?
I don't know if that's a sale item or if it's just a gratitude. But they had it for all creators that were registered on their site that were tabling at shows. I had to go online to my profile and add that I was going to be at New York Comic Con, and they took note of that and made that pack for me and brought it out there. Yeah. Wow. So big shout out to those guys.
Love those guys. Those
They're
guys
awesome.
are kick ass, man.
They're so kick ass. They, it goes to show how they're back there for the creator.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just realized today too that I got to start adding Mighty Mascots on there now.
Highly recommend it.
I know. I got to take the time to actually break down each issue, though. That's the hard part,
Well, you could upload it as is and let it read page by page, but if you want to get fun with the panel isolations,
that's what I would like to do.
You just got to take the time to do that. Yeah, that's all.
And Roland said, seems like a great promo swag. Yeah, definitely. Totally. Harry, anything else you wanted to shout out?
Not really. I gotta start working on some new stuff. But anyway, R.I.P. Chrissy Snow from Three's Company. It sucks.
Suzanne Summers.
Hearing that.
Today's her birthday. Actually, she died on her 77th birthday. Yeah, too bad.
Well, I mean, Three's Company was such a me growing up was such a a huge moment in my life to shape me.
A friend of mine texted me dude, sad day today. I'm like, I know.
Not as sad as when John Ritter died, but
of course, right?
Yeah, almost as sad. John Ritter was.
I think I teared up. To me. There haven't been too many celebrities that have died that I've teared up. But John Ritter is one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the Crocodile Hunter was another one, only because he was so full of life. That guy. And
it was tragic the way he died.
That too. Of all places to get barbed in his heart. You know what I mean? Anywhere else, you could have probably survived. You know what I mean? It's that one. Sad, but
messed up.
Anyway,
but I agree with you, man. Sad day yesterday.
Right.
Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday,
and today's her birthday, so it's kind of sad.
It's crazy, nuts.
Yep.
But all right, I'm gonna start closing out. I want to thank you guys both for being here as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely. You guys. And I wish you both luck with the campaigns. Like Johnny, I loved Star Noir, so I'll definitely be back in the number 2 at some point. And then Ben, I'm definitely going to take a look at your book as well and try to back it as well.
Right. And, anything aliens or Bigfoot, I'm in.
Yeah, right. And the art's great. I love the ink wash look and everything. And I love the different stories you got there. So definitely check it out. And if you guys are watching this tomorrow or after, the links to both of these campaigns will be in the description of the video. So definitely back these guys, back indie comics. This is where all the excitement's happening right now in comics. Absolutely happening here. So check that out. That's pretty much it. I also want to mention that Mighty Mascots will probably be ending at the end of the month on Indiegogo. I'll be wrapping that up and just closing out that campaign so I can start moving on to the next issue, so that'll be closing soon. So if you haven't backed it yet, you got a couple weeks to still do so.
And we're back on Wednesday night.
Yes, and we'll be back Wednesday night for a rare 2 shows in a week.
Wow.
We got so many requests for guest appearances. I was talking about this on our last video that I made, that it seems like the bulk of the indie community does their Kickstarters from August to like November, and that's when we get so backlogged with creators. Like I think we're literally booked until after. We're literally booked right up to Christmas, and then I think after that we have people coming on the show in January and February. That's how far out we have people coming on the show. So it's a good thing, good problem to have. So we'll take
it. Featuring creators.
It's because you do a great
platform.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you, Tony. Appreciate it,
Tony.
Ben.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. We love having you guys on. We love talking
time.
Comics. Yeah.
Yeah, busy. All of our schedules are busy, so we appreciate you guys slicing time out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, and we will be back live Wednesday night with Pops Van Sant, and we'll be talking about the Roku thing that they got going on.
I'm curious to find out more about
creators to the Roku, which will be kind of cool, So, all right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll talk to you Wednesday night. Most importantly, read some comics. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Have a good night.